welcome to You Will Die. You will die slowly. Your stomach will swell. Your intestines will wreathe with blood. Your eyes will burst and some horrible stuff. Possibly your brain will start coming through your nose. A perfectly cromulent Simpsons show.
You will die. You will die slowly.
That's so good.
I don't got the deep voice for the very dramatic reading. I'm sorry.
Nope, do it over.
Hi, everybody. My name's Kristen, and this is my co-host, Jesse.
Yoy.
And every week we sit down and talk about it as two lifelong friends sit down, the two lifelong Simpsons fans who are friends. I got this. Sit down and talk about The Simpsons, an episode of The Simpsons, episode by episode, year by year. I mean, that sounds like we're going to die.
Day by day, fresh start over, different every way. Sorry.
To be fair, we have been friends for a while now, though. We have been friends for
we're pushing the five-year mark. 100%.
We're pushing the 5-year mark.
I believe the end of this year we'll be at. I know I resubbed to you the other day on Twitch, and it was like, you're resubbing to Kristen for the 58th month or something. I was like, oh,
yeah.
what the fuck? Like,
yeah, we've been friends for a while now. So to be fair, we've been friends for a while. But yeah, so we sit down every week and we talk about a Simpsons episode, and we bring it all to you guys, and we hope you enjoy it. We enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit what you guys think. This is for me and Kristen. I do. I just can't let it dictate what we do, because if that was the case, Kristen and I would have to quit today.
But I think I remember just about everything. You can find us on socials at Cromulent Show on everything. We haven't been keeping up with them as much as we should, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And, you know, there's times when we get inspiration. So then we're extra there when we have inspiration.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's just like we're kind of doing our passion project on the podcast, and we got out of the gates really good. And it was like, well, there is life, too. So
yeah, unfortunately, life. Before we dive into the episode, let's find out a little bit about what was going on in the world. On the week of October 29th, 1992. That is the week we're in, right? I did not screw that up. Thank God. Do you like it? I'm like, I did not screw that up, right? Because I wrote it down and I was like, is that right?
Nope.
In the U.S., you guys are having a presidential election between Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush.
Who wins?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out when we get to November in the series.
Oh, shit.
But also, Ross Perot is making waves and becoming a dominating punchline on late night comedy shows. So
Ross
Perot! Apparently, Magic Johnson, I kind of remember this, but I don't. Magic Johnson returned briefly to the NBA, but then like a month later, retired. So.
Yeah, all the players were like, we don't want him getting all his AIDS on us. And he was like, damn.
And obviously Gen X is getting to be a bigger thing because they're entering into adulthood right now. And terms like slacker culture are becoming normal words in society. So,
remember the movie
to
Slackers?
all of our slackers.
Do you remember that movie?
Slackers? Yeah.
Yes, that was a good movie.
That is a great movie.
Well,
I don't feel like
maybe not a good movie, but it's an enjoyable movie.
I love that movie. Okay.
Well, I still to this day, anytime I'm with one of my friends and I need to fart, I stop and go, wait, and make it seem like some dramatic thing is going to happen. Fart and go, okay, and just continue.
Did you take the song out of the...
Yes, I'm fucking so sick of hearing that song. We were like kind of up against it for a number of sound clips tonight, so I was like, fuck that. I'm taking Boys to Men out of here. That's the first thing. Fuck you. I don't need to hear it anymore. It's dead to me.
But in the week of October 29th, 1992, the world is not done with Boys to Men because they are the number one song in the UK and the number one song in the US.
Of the road, no, I won't let go. Sorry.
Other notable chart toppers are Rump Shaker by Rex NFX. I'm sure I've probably heard this song, but I could not think of it, and I didn't look it up. Erotica.
As soon as you said it, I felt like I heard it, and then the more you talked about it, the less it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
As soon as you said Rump Shaker, I thought like I could hear like a
beat.
Rump Shaker. Like I'm probably totally wrong.
And then Madonna's Erotica and Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough by Patti Smith featuring Don Henley. And so that's kind of our musical landscape. The number one movie at the box office is Candyman, which we cover in a side project where we're doing
I think
movies.
you'll be hearing it after this. Yes. Next week, you guys will hear it. You guys will get our first movie episode next week. That's exciting.
Yes.
And that's kind of an introduction to that is basically each month that ends as The Simpsons aired, Kristen and I will be talking about one of our favorite movies from that month. Here we are with Treehouse of Horrors. Obviously, it's October of 1992. So next week, we're going to be talking about our favorite movie from October of 1992, which was the preview, Candyman.
Yeah. And some other notable film toppers, box office hits. Under Siege,
box
The Mighty
office
Ducks.
hits.
River runs through it, and the river runs through it. So those are some other ones that are happening at the time. TV shows on at the time, because we haven't actually talked about other TV shows that have been on at the same time.
Basically, to me, there weren't any. So
Seinfeld, Murphy Brown, and Full House were all record, they were record settings at the time. They were very, very popular.
Sometimes I wonder what happened to predictability. Newsman, the Paperboy,
the Newsman and the Paperboy, and evening TV. I know.
Miss your old familiar friends. Waiting around the bed.
Thank you. That was awesome.
I fucking loved Full House.
I watched so much Full House.
I was 6 years old when Full House started. It was 100%. Maybe I was probably younger. Thinking about how old Mary Kate and Ashley were, I was for sure younger. I was younger.
I didn't realize how long Full House was on TV until they did the reboot on Netflix. I was
Fuller House.
Because I went and looked it up. I'm like, oh my God, it started in that year. It could. I was like, I just
run
didn't realize
8 seasons or something.
I can't remember, but it was long, and you basically watch some of those kids actually factually grow up on the show because it spanned such a long time frame. So it was interesting. Here's some book stuff for you. R.L. Stine's Goosebumps had just debuted in July, right? So they're picking up sales,
It was 8 seasons, by the way.
Was it? Yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark is in its first season on Nickelodeon, which is
submitted for the approval for the Midnight Society. I call this story The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner.
Thank you. But yeah,
that was my favorite one.
And just a couple more things, and then I'll move on. Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis are kind of they're battling it out for supremacy of the home video game market.
How's that going for Sega these days?
As mentioned before, I think a couple episodes before when we were doing the wrap up for season 3, Street Fighter 2 is everywhere. It's just in every arcade and it's everywhere. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is coming out soon, and they're already doing ads for it in October because it's going to be a Christmas. They're thinking for Christmas, right?
Yep.
Some other random things. This is back in the day where people still rented VHSs, and that was Friday nights, right? Friday and Saturday nights. That's what lots of homes did.
I miss that.
Yeah. Wayne's World was growing in popularity with words like swing and party on, Wayne.
I don't know why, but from that movie, the line I took the most and have repeated the most throughout my life: if you're going to spew into this.
Yes, that, and I like the new print part where he's like when they're doing we won't sell out to corporate shills, and then he's holding up the Pepsi can. New print, little, yellow, different. Anyways, this also, in case you forgot, it was back at this time in the 90s and the 80s when MTV, and by extension things like Much Music and stuff in Canada, played music videos. Not really TV shows, but Beavis and Butthead will come in soon, and they'll be that's when we kind of start to see TV shows start to happen. Just an interest. I just thought, here's some little extra facts for the day, because I thought they were kind of interesting.
But Beavis and Butthead were built around watching music videos. Yeah, they watch 2 or 3 music videos per episode. So it's still
it's still very music heavy
for you kids out there. MTV stands for music television.
Yes. Yes.
Not moms of small children as teens television.
Right. So just some interesting, like, just to round out what it was like.
You did a great job of
bit.
making me feel nostalgic. I really want to take my kids to a video store. I'm going to drive to Oregon and go to the last Blockbuster.
Oh my God, there's a video store like not too far away from me. Like it's about 45 minutes. And I think about going in there. I genuinely miss going to the video store sometimes. And it was because your selection was and everybody had this in every town. Your selection was what it was ever in the video store you went to. And there was always one really, really good video store that had like the whole like catalog of history in it. Like all the movies ever. And then there was always a video store like the Blockbuster or whatever that really just had the newer stuff.
So
and you had to pick where you go.
We had 3 total. They weren't like really close to each other, but you could drive 25 minutes or so and you can get to all 3 of these. Yeah. And not that this is a video store. We'll move on. But we had a Blockbuster. Everybody knows what Blockbuster, like you're talking about the new stuff, the classics. Like nothing's going to like hold in there for 2 years unless it's like on the classic-ish. And then we had a Hollywood Video, which is also, I believe, quite corporate, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was quite corporate.
And then we had a smaller, I'm assuming, family-owned one called Razzmatazz Video.
Oh, those are the best ones.
And that was the one that had, they had the wood saloon doors in the back for adults only. And
they had all the movies of all time.
Like nothing was faced out. You had everything.
It was all stacked. Yes, you could only read the signs. You actually had to pull the movie out, read it, and then put it back.
Yes, because there were so goddamn many in there.
There are so many.
And Razzmatazz was right by our house, and nothing was like electronic. They didn't scan your barcode. When you rented a movie, they like wrote it down and it was great. I loved it.
I do miss going to the video store though, just for the fact that it's like your selection was what was at the video store that you chose to get to. So like be it Blockbuster or whatever, that was your selection. You had to pick from that, and sometimes that was a challenge. Like if you got there and you're like, well, none of the movies I want are in, but I'm not leaving, because you don't leave the video store without a video either, right? Like you're gonna leave with a video.
I was huge on rain checks at.
Oh God, yes, that's how I saw Deep Blue Sea or whatever, the one about the sharks with Samuel L. Jackson. I saw that because it was in the guaranteed to be in section, and that was the only one that wasn't there. So I went up to the front and I'm like, I was totally planning on watching that movie. Like, that was the movie I was going to watch. So, like, here's your rain checks. I'm like, thank you very much. We'll be back for the free movie. That's how I got to see that. But yeah, I missed that experience. And I think it's kind of, because I always thought, like, even as like a small child, it was so much fun to go and just wander through the video store because you never knew what you were going to find. You didn't know, and you couldn't find out all you had. The only information you had about a movie or a video was whatever was written on the back and maybe a screenshot or two. Some of them would have like 5 little screenshots if you were lucky. So you could try to figure out, is this shit or is this going to be the most amazing thing I ever watched? You know what I mean, right? It was always a gamble, especially with older movies that like just were before your time, because it was just like, you know what? I've never seen a commercial for this. I've never heard anyone talk about it, but kind of looks okay. Yes, Mom, exactly. This is the one I want. And that's also how you end up watching movies like Watership Down. And then you learn that bunnies are terrifying.
Or the one that I rented, the horror movie Jack Frost.
Oh, God, yes.
I just remember always seeing that snowman on the cover and being like, I'm going to get it one day. I'm not going to be a puss, and I'm going to get it one day.
I'm going to get it one day.
And then I finally did it, and I was like, oh, this is really bad. Did that snowman just rape that woman? Okay, all right. I don't know if I should be watching this.
Right? But yeah, I missed that experience. I truly do. It was
you've got me like, I have a actual nostalgic feeling about video. We've now gone 5 minutes on video stores. But that's just
Welcome
the way
to
it
the
is.
Video
kids.
Store Podcast. Yeah. We're old.
Well, I think for me this show is primarily a Simpsons podcast, but its background feature is to allow for us to be nostalgic for the time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So we're
100%.
We're talking 1992, baby. I just had a laminated paper Blockbuster card back then.
So let's dive into the episode, which starts really quick, really realistically speaking, and it starts with the Funeral March of a Marionette, which is the song from Alfred Hitchcock's series, and the song that you played at the beginning of our show today.
Yep, I didn't even startle Kristen or anything.
Oh God, I jumped so. I was expecting the nice.
Yeah, and it said. It's like one of those songs everybody has heard. You've all heard it. My grandpa used to watch Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and I remember for years me not knowing where I knew it from, and then seeing that and going, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah. Yep. You know, I know about Alfred Hitchcock Presents because it was on a VHS that was made for me, that was recorded off a TV. Like it was I think it was my grandpa or someone recording a movie for me off a TV, and that was the first that and the the credits for SCTV start before the movie starts. Just those two things, and then the movie starts. So I know it. So we open up, and the Funeral March of a Marionette from Alfred Hitchcock Presents plays, and is Homer doing that whole bit, right, where he's walking into the outline like Alfred Hitchcock does. There is a joke here that most people miss, which is Homer's belly sticks out further.
Yeah.
And then the line for Alfred Hitchcock. That's a bit of a
good evening.
Most people miss. Yes, and he starts with the good evening, and does the thing that becomes a tradition for a little while, where we are informed that the show is really, really scary. Put your children to bed, keep them safe, because it's going to scare your kids. I do like that he says to the audience, because there's a bunch of crybabies out there that are gonna
mostly the religious type.
Who are going to be offended and stuff. And I do believe that these warnings, they do come off the back of criticisms from the first couple Treehouse of Horrors, where people were like, we were not expecting that. Like
well, I think the first
my
one
child was not ready.
Just went, and the second one, or maybe the first one too, at least one of the previous ones had Marge coming out and warning people how scary it was. I think both.
It's yeah. So people weren't expecting, people, I guess, I mean, it's Halloween, man. Be ready for anything.
Homer calls them chickens.
Yes, and the TV turns off because he's kind of being like, leave if you don't want to be here, and then they do the effect like the TV turning off.
Yeah, and it used to be a different thing when the TV turned off, guys. What you're seeing on this episode is what it was like. The sound.
And
let me give you one more quick anecdote. This is going to be a very tangential episode, but people are just going to have to eat it. When I was a kid, there were two ways where if my mom was coming down the hall and I would turn my TV off really quick, she would come in and run her hand across the front of it. And if it still had the static, it means it was just fucking on. Yeah. Or if I had been watching it long enough, the back of the TV would literally just be warm-ish to hot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So you couldn't even get away with watching TV back then. You had static across the goddamn screen, and
Oh, and sometimes there'd still be that hum for a second, like in the air, that little electronic hum, and it's like the TV was just on. I can hear it.
Imagine in 70 years, they're gonna be like, man, they just they could have lived to be 170, but they had CRT TVs just buzzing that mini radiation they didn't even know about into them.
Right. So then we start with the spooky version of the Simpsons title, which is like the woo, right? And we go to and it's thunder and it's lightning and it's raining and it's dark, and we go to the Springfield cemetery, and this is where we get some tombstone gags, which of course end after a little while. Apparently, what I read today about that was it got hard thinking of things to put on the tombstones.
Yeah. I can see that.
But we do see some shows here that tried to mimic The Simpsons and died. So this is The Simpsons rubbing it in basically to some TV shows that tried and died, like Drexel's Class. So I think there was a few that those in that within a year or two time span that were trying to ride off the coattails of The Simpsons and just didn't make it. They didn't make it. And then there's I'm with stupid.
They're trying.
And then there's an I'm with stupid one, and it's pointing to our Brookminster Fuller. And there's a geodesic dome on top. He was an architect. I looked it up. An architect. I have it right here.
What a deep joke.
Yeah. So he wrote more than 30 books and coined the phrase of popularized such terms as spaceship Earth. And I don't synergetics. Synergics. I can't say that word, but you know what? Like synergy shit.
Yeah.
And
Synergistic.
yeah, and like tense gritty. Tense gritty.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I don't know that either. But I have heard Spaceship Earth. He was a futurist and a philosopher and inventor. And I guess did some shit. I didn't read the whole article. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I read the first couple paragraphs.
I like the headstone that says American workmanship that just crumbles.
Yes, then there's American workmanship. There's also slapstick comedy that they've stuck in the back there that you only see for like a fraction of a second. Like it's really quick.
I have a note here that says slapstick comedy is a freshly dug plot that is still empty. So they're saying slapstick
it's not dead yet.
Not
it's
dead
almost
yet.
dead. There. Yeah. And we zoom into the Simpsons house. We still get a couch gag in this one. Everybody runs in their bones. They're skeletons. And Marge has the Bride of Frankenstein lightning strike in her hair, which makes sense for her hairdo, right? I do like that Maggie's pacifier is also bones.
Yes.
Just as a note.
I think I have everybody's Halloween costumes here if you want.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And then we get the credits like bat graining and James Hellbrooks, Matt
Weasley, Wally, Wolodarsky, Jay Carnage, Kogen.
Yeah, we get all those. And then yes, you let me just set up this. So we're in the Simpsons living room. And it's Halloween, and the kids are not out trick-or-treating. They are awful Al Jean as well. And they're having a Halloween party, and all the kids are there. And they all have costumes on, and you have all their costumes. Go for it.
So Homer is dressed as Julius Caesar until his toga rips on a nail. Bart is dressed as Alex DeLarge from A Clockwork Orange. Lisa's the Statue of Liberty. Marge is Cleopatra. Milhouse is Radioactive Man. He'll later be Fallout Boy.
Yep.
Nelson is a pirate. Martin is Calliope, the muse of heroic poetry, which Kristen and I were talking about. I have the wraparound in 3 segments. I have toys from everything but the zombie segment of this treehouse. So I have a Calliope Martin. Janie is dressed as a princess. Lewis is Frankenstein's monster. Richard is Scratchy. Becky is an Arabian princess. And Wendell is an astronaut. And he vomits a lot, so I would be careful inside that.
For sure. So when Homer's robe, I like that his robe rips off, and he says, behold Caesar in all his glory. And of course he's like neighbor. Yeah. He's like, and all the kids just start laughing, right? They all think it's funny. Sorry. And basically, I think there's one point where somebody says like this is way lamer than going out and getting candy. It's Bart in a British accent. In a
stupid party. Wish we were trick or treating.
And that's when Marge comes up with the famous Halloween party game. I know I did this in school at least once. I don't know if you've ever done this one.
I've never done the pass around. We always did it like the haunted house where you stuck your hand in the
box. Yeah. So, you get the peeled grapes, and it's like she's passing them around to the kids who are supposed to have their eyes closed too. So you don't know what you're holding on to. And she's like, there was a witch and she's dead type of talk. And then she's like, these are her eyes. And you can see in her bowl, she's got grapes and spaghetti and all the things for her to make it really spooky and really fun for the kids. I definitely did this in school. She goes through she's got a steak in there too. I noticed I was like, she calls the steak her brains. I don't know if I agree with steak being brains though. Like I feel like she could have gotten a better feel.
This is your kidney.
Yeah. And then Bart's sitting there, and I guess on his side of the room, they're not getting anything because he points out to Marge, "Hey, Mom, we didn't get the eyeballs yet." And flashlight shines on Homer, who is eating the spaghetti and the grapes, and is about to eat the steak. It looks like
it was a mean joke anyway.
Yeah, and evil game. It's an evil game.
Yeah.
And so Marge turns back on the lights, and it's kind of like, well, now we need another activity. Like, what are we gonna do? and comes up with maybe a ghost story. And of course, Lisa, being the Lisa that she is, I have a story. It's about a boy and his doll.
Yeah, it's weird framing in this. It sort of got like she says, "I've got a story," and stands up, and it's kind of got like Bart's face and her whole chest,
like chest.
and it
It's
pans
weird.
up to her head and super zoom in. But
Yeah,
it's a very strange shot. I don't know, for whatever reason.
It's super strange. But she also goes like, it's a story about a boy and his doll, and she gets that's not very scary, and she's like, a doll from hell. And thus we end our first bit of wraparound and start Clown Without Pity. Which is a play on the movie and song Town Without Pity, which is I also have information about that here. A 1961 film.
Didn't know that, but I should have assumed. Nothing goes.
Yeah,
wasted, so.
I've definitely heard the song "A Town Without Pity." I definitely heard that because the last line of the song is, "It isn't very pretty what a town without pity can do," which is mimicked in lots of songs and lots of things forever. But yeah, so and that's like a Kirk Douglas movie. I think it's army based. It's called it's called something else. It's based on a novel called The Verdict from the 1960s. Anyway, that's enough about books. You know what I forgot to do? Because I got so carried away. I totally forgot to tell people before we start the Clown Without Pity. This is episode 64 of The Simpsons, and the production code is 9F04. It aired on October 29th, 1992. The special guest voices are Marsha Wallace and as Edna Krabappel. And it was written by, this is a long one, okay? It is written
I told them it was going to be tangential, so don't worry about doing this late.
Atrocious, Al Jean, Morbid, Mike Reiss, Warped, Wally, Wolodarsky, Johnny, Katastrophe, Kogen, Scarifying, Sam Simon, Vicious Jack Vitti, and it is directed by blood-curdling Carlos Beza. So
I think my favorite one, it's not on there ever, is James Hell Brooks.
Yeah, that is my favorite one.
So good.
That is
clean,
my favorite one.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I realized when I flipped
That's
back.
Okay. I didn't even think about it at all. I'm just having too much fun, Kristen.
I was like, oh my God, what happened? Anyway, so yeah, so there you go, guys. For those of you who are like, she skipped the whole what episode we're watching. Also, I do like when Lisa says the doll from hell, that her eyes are actually kind of like they're googly eyes, they're looking in two different directions. So like I said, a Clown Without Pity. Oh yeah, Homer also announces he's going to the store because I guess the sound
Homer's
of it is
too
scared.
He's always too scared.
So the name of it is a play on a movie and a song, and we open to the actual story. I lost words for a second. In the story, it starts off with it being Bart's birthday, and he opens up a box, a present from Grampa Simpson.
Thanks, Grandpa. Where'd you get all the money?
The government. I didn't earn it. I don't need it. But if they miss one payment, I'll raise hell.
So Bart's got a bunch of money, and then he turns to Homer and kind of like, where's the gift from you? And basically he doesn't have it, right? So then he takes off to go to where he ends up. Okay, he goes to go get Bart a present, and he ends up at what's it called? That House of Evil, your one-stop evil shop. That's where he goes to get
totally
his son a
present.
Gremlins
reference, right? Like
it is 100%
a Gremlins.
100%. This whole scene is a Gremlins reference. Yes, it's 100% a Gremlins reference. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And he walks to the store and he's looking for stuff. And his first question is, "Do you sell toys?" And he gets, "We only sell forbidden objects from places men fear to tread. We also sell Frogurt, like frozen yogurt, which we call Frogurt,
which I call Frogurt."
But yeah, this is all very Gremlins, and we see on his shelf,
not for sale.
We see on his shelf a shrunken head, which is 20% rayon, 80% shrunken head.
Yeah, the lament configuration is up there.
Yeah, a two-headed cat, a beating heart, and a Krusty doll. And
take this object, but beware, it carries a terrible curse.
Ooh, that's bad.
But it comes with a free Frogut.
That's good.
The Frogut is also cursed.
That's bad.
But you get your choice of topping.
That's good.
The toppings contain potassium benzoate. That's bad.
Can I go now?
So I love that. That's so good. Then so Homer takes his newly acquired doll home to Bart, and he doesn't just take it home to Bart, because this is a Simpsons Halloween episode. They're playing pin the tail on the donkey or something like that, because it's Bart's birthday and he's clearly having a birthday party now, and it's Milhouse's turn. For some reason, the pin the tail on the donkey's on the back of the front door of the house. So when Homer comes in and it's Milhouse's turn, he like whips the door open, smashing Milhouse into the wall with little or to no concern of Milhouse's safety. Bart opens the present and he's like, what's he say? Great Caesar's ghost is a talking Krusty doll. Yeah. And of course, it says all the things that you think it will. I'm a Krusty doll. You know, I'm Krusty the Clown.
I should see it. You could give me 1 second, because mine talks and I can set it. It has a good and evil switch.
Go get it.
Yes.
Go get it. Go get it. But in general, Bart's very, very happy to have a talking Krusty doll. Of course he is. And he tells his dad that it's the best birthday gift he's ever had. And right now, Jesse, we're going to need, we will have to do socials for this one, because you need to take some pictures so we can share them.
Yeah. But here, you can hear him. I think it's set to evil right now.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll get through all of them real quick. We can choose which ones we want to use.
You think your dirty socks can stop me? Well, they are making me dizzy. Yeah, you stupid idiot. I'm Krusty the Clown, and I don't like you. Guess who, fat boy?
That's all of them.
That's
all
so
the evil
great
ones, and then there's the good ones too.
Where he's just like, I'm Krusty the Clown, right?
And I love you.
Yeah, I just feel like a Krusty the Clown doll might actually just say some of those things just because, like, right. It doesn't have to be evil. It's Krusty walking in really quickly going, hey, I'm Krusty the Clown. Hey, right? Like, so Bart's over the moon, and I'm going to make Jesse take pictures of this stuff, and I will make sure we do at least one post to show you his cool shit related to this episode, because that is totally worth us posting. And I'm saying this, and I'm writing it down. But right away, Grampa Simpson, Abe, is like, that doll is evil, I tells ya. And he just starts screaming, evil, evil, evil.
You said that about every gift tonight.
And then he admits that all he wants is attention.
I just wanted attention.
Later on, we see Homer watching the news, and Kent Brockman's announcing that scientists have found out that the air in Springfield is dangerous for the elderly and children. Woohoo! Neither of those are Homer, and so Homer picks up, for whatever reason, Homer picks up the Krusty the Clown doll, pulls the string, and he gets, I'm Krusty the Clown, and I don't like you. And Homer laughs. And then without pulling the string, Krusty says, I'm Krusty the Clown. And did he say, I'm going to kill you? No, he didn't say, I'm going to kill you yet, does he? Did he say, I'm going to kill you?
I think so. Yeah. And he's like, oh, didn't even pull the string on that one.
Yeah.
And then he calls him out by name. You, Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson. Yeah. I said, I'm going to kill you, Homer Simpson. And he's like, Homer just tosses him aside. He falls off the side of the couch, and Krusty comes out brandishing a knife, right? A big butcher's knife, which apparently was just hanging out by the couch, and waves it at Homer. The family hears Homer shriek and like recoil on the couch. And when they come in, the Krusty doll's just laying there like a Krusty doll would. And Homer's like, the doll's trying to kill me.
I'd say the pressure's gotten to Dad. But what pressure?
And I like how Homer's like, don't leave me alone with the doll. And this is one of my favorite bits, is when Krusty's talking and he's like, ha 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 ha, and he starts walking towards Homer, and the string runs out, so he turns around and points to his back, so Homer pulls the string for him again so he can talk
just finish
some more.
Laughing maniacally.
Yeah. Cut to Homer in the bathtub singing.
My baloney has a first name. It's Homer.
Yeah. of course, it's supposed to be Oscar Mayer Wiener, right? We all know that. Right. And also one of the best like Homer running through anything naked scenes too. But anyways, Krusty pops up with like a harpoon.
The last thread of my heterosexuality.
Because Krusty comes at him with a harpoon while he's in the bathtub, and it is I do love the motion on that scene because it does that like the way they animate it in the background. It's just like they do like the cartoon blur of everything, and I love it. And so then the heterosexuality thing, and then we cut to Krusty in the Malibu Stacy in the Malibu
he's
Stacy
getting
house
fresh with Malibu Stacy.
Malibu Stacy. Hey, baby, get comfortable, and sorry, ridiculous. It just kills me. And of course, that's in Lisa's room. This is when Homer shows up with a bag, a briefcase, and a bunch of chain. And the bag is full of dirty socks from Homer, and he closes them up, ties the bag tight. This is when Krusty says a thing: "You can't hurt me with your socks."
Your dirty socks. Whoa, I am getting kind of dizzy.
Yeah. So he ties the bag shut, puts the bag inside the briefcase, and then puts a chain around the briefcase, and takes it to Springfield's bottomless pit, and is like, "Goodbye, evil doll," pretty much. And this is also when we get a mobster walking up who's dumping Arrivederci, Vito. Yeah. And also a guy showing up with nude photos of Whoopi Goldberg because he was a fool to
think anyone would want these nude pictures of Whoopi Goldberg.
And the pit throws it back at him. The pit wants nobody that. And Homer thinks he's made it back to Springfield safe and sound. But really, Krusty was strapped underneath the car.
He got Cape Feared.
As I say, that's Cape Fear right there. I do like the episode where they literally do Cape Fear as well. That is one of my favorite Simpsons episodes. Yeah, with Bob. That's one of my favorite Simpsons episodes. But yeah, he gets Cape Feared. So he goes back inside the house. I love this because like not only is Krusty like Krusty, but he also like apparently can leap from because he's not a very big doll too either. He's not like the Chucky doll who's like, like at least the half the size of a small child, right? He's very little. He's like you can pick him up and hold him in your hand.
He's like
but he
the size
leaps
of
up.
Homer's head.
Yeah, he leaps up and covers Homer's eyes from behind and is like, "Guess who, fat boy?"
Guess who, fat boy?
Yes.
Marge, look!
God!
The doll's trying to kill me and the toaster's been laughing at me.
That's one of the funniest lines ever to me for whatever reason.
I say that line all the time.
He's been telling you about about Krusty. It's there, but the toaster's also been laughing at him.
Yeah. I say that line all the time and randomly for no reason because I just love that. And the toaster's been laughing at me. And this is when they pick up the box and they see that there's a big sticker on the back that says "Problems Call 1-900-Don't-Sue." So Marge, that's on the back of your box too. Very nice.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this is that it came in the package like it is in the show. It's got a barcode and all the information on the bottom like it should in real life, but everything else is like Treehouse of Horror's accurate.
I love it. It's beautiful. So Marge calls the hotline and she gets put on hold right away, and it's that song, "Everybody Loves a Clown, so why don't you?" Yeah. Somebody from the Krusty company shows up, and when he gets there, Krusty's literally trying to rip Homer's tongue out of his mouth, and I love that the guy who walks in, he's like he's smoking a cigarette, and he walks in. He looks he looks like this is no big deal. Like his look on his face is just like, okay.
Oh, he's done this.
Yeah, he picks up Krusty and says, "Here's your problem. It's set to evil," and he switches the switch to good. And right away, and this is the kind of creepy part still though. It says, "I love you, Homer." Like,
Well, he's good now.
And cut to a scene where Krusty is basically just like Homer's servant now, and Homer's getting him to bring him food, walk the dog.
He buried me a couple times.
Yeah, and at the
dogs like to do that to old junk.
And at the end of Krusty's day, he goes home to Malibu Stacy in the Malibu Stacy house, and coming home to her is what makes his life all right, and gives her a kiss on the cheek, and her head falls off, and it's okay though. He just picks it up and puts it back on, and we end the scene with it like zooming in love heart, like the love heart. Yeah, and the sitcom type music. Yeah. And that's the first one. Just out of curiosity, because there's three parts, right? Yeah. Which do you like this first one? Yeah, I love the first one personally. It's one of my favorites. Like ever, of any time.
Yes, this is probably my favorite of the three.
Of the three, yeah. No, 100%.
They're all good. They're all good. But yeah, that's probably my favorite of the three.
This
is the funniest.
Yeah, this one is the one that has stuck with me literally my entire I have known Mart, the adult's trying to kill me and the toaster's been laughing at me. I've known that line forever now, literally, so it must mean something.
I have played a lot of zombie games and said he was a zombie.
Yeah.
So definitely that too.
So that's the end of the first one. We go back to the wraparound where we come into Homer telling a story about he screws it up, right? Because he's like, so then his wife comes through the door and everyone looks really bored and he's like, did I mention she's dead? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, well, she was, and she hit him in the head with a golf club, and
he was a bowler.
Yeah, everything is just going wrong in this story for him, and Grampa Simpson informs him that he's coughed up scarier stuff than that, and that's when Bart suggests that Grampa Simpson tell us a story.
Grandpa, why don't you tell us a story? You've led an interesting life.
That's a lie, and you know it. But I have seen a lot of movies.
Really quickly, but I love that part.
That's
and I feel
a lie, and you know it.
I love that part. Interesting fact about this one, though, is that they were scared. They were worried about this segment because for anyone that hasn't gone back and watched this, in case you forgot, this story is done entirely in black and white. There is no color in this story.
I love it. It makes it work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because they're mimicking the movie King Kong in it, like the original movie King Kong.
Is like what, 1926 or something?
Yeah. They were worried about how long it was too, because they were scared that people were going to think their TVs were broken and all these other things. Like there were actual genuine worries about it being uninteresting because it's in black and white, and people thinking there was something wrong with their TVs. Like these were just questions that came up in production. Yeah. So I just find this one interesting because it's interesting, especially in that they were worried that like there'd be a lack of interest in it because there's no color, because that's where we are in society at this point in time. I remember really by the time we get to this in 1992, like there were still people that probably had black and white TVs in their house somewhere. Like they would definitely, like maybe in an attic, or maybe it was like the little TV that's like in somebody's room or something like that that's been there
TV
forever. Yeah, like black and white TVs aren't that long gone from the universe, they're still lurking in people's basements and stuff. So, and definitely like people's parents definitely grew up watching some stuff on a black and white TV because, maybe their family or their dads or their moms were like, we are not buying like a $500 color TV. We're going to live with this black and white one that's from like 1961, that's just, that's how it was, right? Anyways, so the show starts. The episode starts, and we see Smithers and Mr. Burns standing there, and Marge walking up saying her name's Marge Bouvier. Mr. Burns and Smithers they're the ones going on the expedition. Like Mr. Burns has the safari hat. He's leading the expedition, and Mr. Burns, I think he's the captain, right, or something like that. Yeah. And there's also some unsavory crewmates there that all they say is "ar ar ar" and back and forth to each other. So Marge shows up and she asks if she's hired, and Mr. Burns says, "I don't know. What do you think, Smithers?"
I think women and semen don't mix.
We know what you think.
And then he tells a beautiful young Marge. I mean, she looks like Marge always looks, that she's hired to go on this expedition.
I love that Smithers is just like just blatantly homosexual even in the 1930s version.
Yeah. Yeah. That's our second, that's our sexual that's our second like LGBTQ type of comment in the episode, because just before when Homer streaked it, the whole line with, well, that there goes my
last thread of heterosexuality.
And then later she comes out many years later in the show. So it's the seeds were there the whole time. If you guys didn't notice, the seeds were there the whole time. So then we cut to Lenny and Carl, and that guy has a name, but I never remember his name. The plant worker that has the glasses.
I heard we're going to Ape Island.
They're climbing a smokestack, as it looks like, and they're going to Ape Island. Lenny wishes that they were going to Candy Apple Island. But they're also watching. They kind of have a look down at Marge, who's sunbathing in like an inappropriate 1930s bathing suit. And then we see our first shot of Ape Island, which is like Skull Island type of thing, except it kind of resembles Homer's head shape, and with scary ape teeth, I guess. And you can hear them chant. You can hear the people of the island chanting "Homer, Homer." Homer.
I was trying to find the answer to something really quick and got lost. Did you tell the Candy Apple Island joke?
It's so funny. I didn't. I didn't because
when they say they're going to Ape Island, he's like, "What's there?" He's like, we're gonna capture a giant ape." He's like, "Wish we were going to Candy Apple Island. What's on Candy Apple Island?" Yeah, more apes. Not as big though.
Yeah. And this is where we see Otto in this episode, who appears to be the ship's captain, like the ship's driving the ship, right? Piloting the ship, sailing the ship, whatever.
He's got he goes, he's a distinguished gentleman.
Yeah, I like how he's like, "Hey, who's this Homer dude?" And that's like, and it shows Mr. Burns. He's looking at a map, and he's like, he's a giant prehistoric ape, and announces
invented by the JCs.
Yeah, and announces that we're going to the island, and this is when Marge shows up, and Mr. Burns for a second lets it slip that she's the bait, but he tries to cover it.
Of course, we wouldn't think of going without the bait. That is the bait thing beauty, the bathing beauty. I covered that up pretty well.
So then we see them going through the long grasses of the jungle to reach the village, and which they do, and the people of the village are very quick to say, I know that there's exact words for it, which
Mosi Tutupu.
Yeah, thank you. And what
Mosi Tutupu is just a football player, an NFL player for the New England Patriots.
And via subtitles, we know right away that it says the blue-haired woman will make a good sacrifice. Like as soon as they see her, and Marge asks what he's saying, and Mr. Burns says they're saying they wouldn't dream of sacrificing the blue-haired woman, and to which Marge is ripped away really quickly. And this is where we get like more of the movie shots, right? Like, so it shows Marge being tied up as as bait or a sacrifice. Yep. And Homer is fighting a giant dinosaur, and when he gets bit by the dinosaur, he screams "doe," because even ape Homer says "doe," and then he finds Marge. He walks through the forest, finds Marge. Marge is scared out of her mind because he's a giant ape, and Homer's just happy. And right away, Mr. Burns' plans start coming out, where they're going to put him on Broadway, and they're going to make a bunch of money because they're going to put him on Broadway. I do like that Homer starts playing with Marge's hair like she's like some kind of toy, like he's like flicking it, and her head wobbles back and forth like it would if you were, if you had anything that was springy, right? Like a long spring, and it makes me laugh every time. And Marge tells him to keep his hands to himself, and he does things like, and this is when he like sniffs her hair and does like the sexy growly purr thing, I can't do it, that sound. And Marge kind of giggles, like she liked that he would like that. And then everybody shows up trying to capture Homer. Homer eats Lenny. Lenny tells him to cut it out.
Then Lenny gets shot while he's in his
Carl
mouth.
shoots Lenny and Lenny says, "Nice shot, Carl." And then Homer finishes eating Lenny. So Lenny's just he's been eaten completely.
Bullets! I'm not supposed to get them in my eyes.
And then Mr. Burns tries to throw a gas bomb at Homer, but he drops it right by him, making himself like intoxicated, even like not even like he doesn't pass out. He just starts singing that song.
Strolling through the park,
one day. Yeah. To which
he says
Smithers
I was
picks
strolling
up
through
one.
the gas one day too.
That's what it is. And then Mr. Smithers picks up a gas bomb and throws it, knocking Homer out.
My favorite part is that it makes Mr. Burns sing and dance gaily, and it makes the gigantic 5'10"
Homer
ape pass out.
Yeah. So they, obviously they are going to pack him up, and they cut to Broadway, where they have what I think it's like the where they're the billing says King Homer, eighth wonder of the world, plus the chubbiest kick line in town. So
the kick
so
line
then we
is
see
chubby. Now that I'm watching it pass by, they do have a fairly chubby kick line.
The chubbiest kick line in town, and we get to see them for a moment. You get to see them for a moment. And a worried Marge, and Homer strapped up to like a harness so he can't move, right? Like he's he's pinned down on on a stretcher, but the stretcher is standing upright. I'm explaining this really bad, but you guys will get it. Also, this part is a direct reference to the movie Young Frankenstein, when they go to Broadway and he takes the Frankenstein's monster to Broadway, makes him sing and dance or whatever. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, the original King Kong too, right? Like this is like
this is everything.
Yeah.
And I like that that they're like, so what's he do? And they're like, he's gonna stand around for a few hours. Basically, he's gonna stand there on the stage like that.
My favorite is when they unveil him. They're like, the eighth wonder of the world, and you get,
wow! Look at the size of that platform.
Yes. Basically, like in many of these types of movies, they're exploiting him, basically, is what it comes down to, right? They're like, he's up there chained up or whatever, and everybody's gawking and like they're amazed at the size of the platform. But anyways, all the news guys walk out and they start flashing him with all the flashers and whatnot, and that sends him into a rage, right? Like all the flashing camera, all the flashes on the cameras send him into a rage. And Marge is a little worried, but one of the news reporters is like, what's he gonna do, run amok in downtown Springfield? And of course his rage lets him break 3 of his shackles, and when he breaks free, I love that the first thing he does is scratch his butt for a second, like just stops and scratches his butt. And then he uses the will of his big belly to break the harness that was around his stomach. So like he literally takes a deep breath in and uses his belly to break it. Right away he steps on a news guy who's dead. Then he steals Barney's peanuts. And Barney tries to kick him, but he just walks away because Barney is like a little ant. He crashes through another stage's wall, where we see a young Shirley Temple singing on the Good Shit Lollipop. And I like too that he starts to dance along for like a second, and then he kind of he screams like, ah, right, like in the tune of the song, and he eats little Shirley Temple.
That he does.
And then we cut to Mr. Burns and Marge in an apartment, and Mr. Burns dreading the reviews. And Marge is in the outfit that's very similar to the one that's worn by the lady in the original King Kong movie, right? Like she's made up to look the same.
Yes.
Except for her hair.
I do like when it pans back to that. The first thing is Mr. Burns saying, "I'm dreading the reviews. I can tell you that."
Yeah. And then we see Homer climbs up the side of the building, reaches in, pulls Marge out because he's keeping her, and starts to climb up the building further. Has to stop and take a breath and like wipe his head because this building is really tall, and you can tell he's regretting his choice already. To the when we see a bunch of planes flying around the top, and I like that one of the pilots like right away is like, he's sure taking his sweet time because
he's got like
Homer.
one floor.
Yeah. And so all the planes are like, better refuel, so they leave. Then we cut to Homer still trying to climb, and he's like sweating and stuff, and Marge is like, you look flushed, you know. And he puts Marge down, and he basically faints and falls one story down onto the pavement below, and
the
starts
Empire
sleeping.
State Building is 102 stories, by the way. So he was almost there.
And he's passed out, and I think they think he's dead for a minute, but Marge is like, he's not dead, you know. And everybody's standing around, and Marge is like, don't worry, I'll take care of you, basically is what we come to. And then we get the spinning newspaper of Woman Weds Ape, and Dick Cavett born. There we go. Yeah, and so they get married. And I like when they have people coming in, the usher is asking them who they're with because it's monkeys and stuff, and you know, what side are you with? And the monkey's like gestures the tall one and stuff, and Homer still just keeps eating people, and Marge thinks it's okay. Like, she kind of makes that, oh, Homer, and laughs off the person being eaten. And then we get that same title, like the same squeeze in, like the heart shape ending to the show, and the same music played at the end of this one, which is a I saw it a second ago. It's a parody of a song, of the theme song from a show called Love American Style.
Nice. There's a fact I forgot in this. When Marge first comes up and she's like looking at the ad that Mr. Burns placed, the ad above it is the ad from the song Escape. So it's you can't see the whole thing, but like you could see the last two lines. Then I'm the love that you looked for, right to me, and escape.
And escape.
Yes, that's the advertisement above it.
Right. So then they use that song again, and the whole heart thing and stuff, because they're in love. And that's
what was the show called? Something American?
Love American Style.
American Style.
Yes, Love American Style, which was an anthology comedy series that aired on BC from September 29th, 1969 to 1964.
Oh, it was old.
There you go. Yes. Again, like, you know, it's funny because I was listening to the episode that would have come out, the one right before this one, where we actually mentioned, like, these were old references even when we were 30 years younger. Like, they're super old references now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's number 2, and I think number 2 is very strong. That's tale number 2 is very strong.
Yeah. I'm not like a big King Kong fan or anything, but like I do, like I do appreciate this segment.
On an artistic level, I really like. I know who's gonna say Simpsons being super artistic. On an artistic level, I really think it's kind of cool because they do the whole segment in black and white.
Yeah.
You know, and the decision to do King Kong, like a super old version of King Kong, because there's been many King Kong versions and things like King Kong. So I think that's interesting. So then we cut back to the wraparound part where Marge is walking out with a bowl of fruit and informs the kid, instead of candy, I thought I'd serve you an array of healthy, fresh fruit.
It's nature's candy.
Yeah, no kid wants to hear that. No kid wants that. None.
No, you're right. I was just about to say, I fucking love fruit. But yeah, if you had brought that to me when I was 10, I would have probably punched you in the mouth.
Like on Halloween too, like on Halloween.
I also would never have got caught up being indoors. Like, I lived for trick-or-treating from the ages of like probably 10 to 14. Like every year from like the summer on, we were like saving for cool ass Halloween costumes. Like the Halloween superstore would open or whatever the hell, Spirit Halloween, and you'd go spend it all on cheap plastic shit that was all made in China. And it was just yeah. But still.
I had a thought. Oh no! But at the very least, if you're going to bring a kid fruit on Halloween, you bring them like a caramel apple or a candy apple or something like that. Then kids are going to get behind it because it's fruit wrapped in sugar.
Yeah, it defeats the purpose.
Then the door opens and it's a very good, like, especially in the Simpsons universe, you can tell it's a very good zombie, like with the head like broken off and veins coming out of the head. And surprise, it's like the a head pops out of the neck of the costume, and it's Flanders, who says, "Hey, hi, fellow Halloweenies." And I love that he even has like a blood squirter. It's like, so when you squeeze it, blood pumps up the veins. And
that's
Grandpa
dedication.
Grandpa Simpson's dying, right? Like that scared the crap out of him, and he's literally clutching his chest and dying. And this is when we find out that Bart has a story that is going to scare the pants off of them, I think he says, right? And then
you'll wet your pants. A scary.
You'll wet your pants.
Too late.
And everyone backs away from Grandpa Simpson. And even though I'm Canadian, for the purpose of this, I will be saying dial Z for zombies.
You can say Z.
Of course, this is a play on Alfred Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder. That's why it's called Dial Z for Zombies. Just so we're all on the same page. It's a play on things.
In the Great White North, they say Z.
We say Z.
And H. So if you hear her say H, she's saying H. Okay? We all cleared up there?
So then we go to the classroom. Sorry, the title opens up on the school. Okay, so we're going to school, and Bart's telling this tale. And we go to the classroom, and Bart's giving a book report, which is from A to Apples to Z for Zebras. Baby's first pop-up book is 26 pages of of alphabetic adventure. And Edna right away is like, "You mean you read a book for preschoolers?" And I love that his answer is super honest and he says, "Well, I read most of it." To which she informs him that he has to read another book, which apparently is horrific because you get like the dramatic like zoom in and zoom out thing and stuff. And we go to Bart sitting in the library, and he's chosen to find Waldo yet again. And this book is so bad, though. It's like the worst Waldo book ever, because like the picture,
the first picture anymore.
The first picture he opens is literally a kid pointing at Waldo, and there's only 3 people in the picture. But it's at this point when Bart notices the occult section in the library, which also has like a skull with a candle on it that he steals the candle from. I don't know how you don't notice this section right away, Bart, but that's okay. And Bart walks in.
Say that? How have I never noticed this section before?
Yeah. There's rats in there and stuff, of course, because it's supposed to be spooky. A book flies off the shelf and literally hits him in the head, and it's the Book of Magic Spells. Hang on. I'm going to tell you the exact title because I don't have it anywhere. The Book of Magic Spells, volume of Magic and Spells, volume 2, and it's got like it's from Time Life. That's what I was looking for. It's the time. I couldn't remember. I remembered it was like there was something funny. Something. Yeah, it's from Time Life. And when he opens it right away, the first pages are ghosty tape faces and being like, evil, beware. Yeah. And Bart's like, cool. And he shuts the book, and all the ghosts are like, ow, 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 ow.
I just love that Bart's so like fucked up that he sees a book with ghost face that is all evil. He's all cool.
And he's like, cool. Yeah. And then right after that, we go to a scene in which Lisa is sitting there mourning her
beloved
gone
Snowball.
now cow. Yeah, he's gone. And Bart eagerly opening his book to chapter 8. Let's talk zombies.
Yeah.
If you want a zombie, he breaks it down, right? Zombies walk the earth, eat brains, blah 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 blah. And I guess he's just really excited about his book at this point, right? And Lisa's like, it was 4 years ago tonight that Snowball died. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. And I like that she was run over by the mayor's beer swilling brother Clovis.
Yeah, I'm from Clovis.
To which Bart's like right away, like, hey, maybe we can find a spell that will bring Snowball back from the dead. And I like how he goes through them. It's like selling your soul, for a deal and all this stuff. Like
you got to go to a crossroads for that.
Yeah. And then he's like, here we are. How to raise the dead. So of course this part of it is also like a reference to Pet Sematary and all that stuff, right? Like that's what we're doing here. For anyone that didn't know, we're doing like Night of the Living Dead, Pet Sematary stuff in this episode or in this section. Okay?
That road there. Good story about that road there.
We see the Springfield Cemetery, but we go next door to the Pet Cemetery, where we get like a nice shot of the we get like one of their nice tombstone shots again. So we see a lobster that was eaten by mistake, fish police, capital critters, family dog, and some of those are also, if I remember correctly, some of those are also I think Family Dog or something like that, or one of those is a reference to another show as well, like even if it's not, because there was that show about the dog, but it's a reference to it, not a direct naming like Drexel's Class. Anyway, so then we get they're standing over Snowball's grave, and we get Bart with a cape on and wearing the Thriller album on his head, Michael Jackson's Thriller, because that's the scariest thing, right? And chanting solemnly. Thriller. Yeah.
Cullen, Rayburn, Nars, Trebek. Zabar, Kresge, Caldor, Walmart.
Those are game show hosts in department stores, right?
Yeah. And this is when all the zombies in the human cemetery start coming to life. Some of the names on the tombstones are the names of some of the animators for the episode.
Sure.
Just like they do that all the time in this show, right? Like it's like when we were doing the one where their separate vocations, some of the names that go through that show before Bart's does and Lisa's does are people that were animators and stuff on the show. Same thing. So anyways, Lisa thinks that it's not that it, her cat's, by the way, her Snowball 1's tombstone is from 1988 to 1990. And Lisa thinks that the spell's not working because Snowball's not coming out. They haven't looked next door yet where all the zombies are coming to life. And then Lisa turns and sees the zombies and informs Bart, you cast the wrong spell. And there's zombies everywhere now. And this is when Bart cuts in and says, Lisa, they prefer to be called the living impaired.
Bart's so progressive, dude.
And then we see groundskeeper really doing groundskeeper things and working at night in the schoolyard.
Yeah, it's weird, but if it's hot, you get some work done.
And it seems like he is, like when we zoom in on him, he just seems to be like fixing up like some shrubbery and some garden around a school window, and he's like, there, pretty as a picture, and then some zombies crawl out of it, and he thinks he's gonna get attacked. He's like, zombies, but they kind of just walk past him. They're not interested in him for whatever reason, and he's disturbed for a second, but then just kind of fixes it again. He's like, there, pretty as a picture again. Kids go racing home from the graveyard with many zombies chasing them, some of them breaking off to other people's houses and pounding on doors. One of those houses is Ned's, who opens the door and says, well, howdy, strangers. What can I do you for? And I love that behind him, there's that poster that says love. Like it's got the doves or the seagulls and the thing. And anyways, they're all just like brains. And they walk into his house and he lets them in because he's good. And he sees somebody he recognizes and says, but I thought you were dead. And then we hear him screaming. Right? Like we hear him screaming.
Then they get him.
Yeah. Bart and Lisa run to Homer and they're like, we did a very bad thing. And he's like, did you wreck the car? And they're like, no. And he's like, did you raise the dead? Yes.
It's the second thing he asks.
But the car's okay? Yes. All right then. And he goes back to eating and being fine. Next day at school, like apparently the night passes with no incidents at the Simpsons house because now we're in school the next day. To which the first thing we hear, and I love this because Martin Prince is called to report to the office and to bring his juicy brain with him.
Yeah, his
Bart's
chest
smiling.
brain.
Yeah, Bart's smiling behind him during this announcement. It's like Bart knows he's going to die, and he's just happy about it. Principal Skinner is revealed to be, in fact, a zombie. Like he's got like the greenish skin, the bloody eyes. He's, and he's using his influence as principal of the school to eat the smart child's brain. And when he does that too, he like licks his lips and stuff. Like he does all like he's one of those intelligent zombies that you don't see very often in movies, but sometimes exist. This always makes like watching this now. I'm like, this isn't even the first time that students in Springfield get eaten, because there's the one where the meat spat, like in the Treehouse of Horror, where they're not getting good grade meat, so they decide to eat the children.
Yeah, the wall. They do their version of the wall.
I do love in that one too. Just a really quick side note, how they use a big blender to chop up a lot of the children, and Bart and Lisa fall into it. Happen to the remaining children. Yeah. Then we cut to Krusty, a Krusty thing where he's like, "Hey kids, look at what you can win!" And it's a big present in the Krusty suite, and it's in the Krusty sweepstakes. And when he opens up the box, it's a big present. Sideshow Mel comes out and grabs him. And right away we go to technical difficulties. And then we come back to Krusty, who's now a zombie, who tells the kids to send him their parents' brains, and just to write brains on a 3x5 card. And
yeah. I have used that technical difficulties as my own during
that's because
it's like the drunk guy on the camera.
Yeah, I love that one. There's a couple good Simpsons ones, because there's that one with the buzzard too that's flying into the dog. Yeah,
it's like a puppy raiding the camera.
Yeah, so then we see everybody in the Simpsons house but Homer, like boarding up windows and stuff, and they're like, kind of like, Homer, get to work. And Homer is literally just sitting there with the plank on his lap, drinking a beer. And then the zombies like bust in, right? And I love that he's like, "Spare my family, take me instead." And this is one of my favorite Simpsons things ever, and I think it always will be. The zombies start examining Homer. And I love how they're like tapping his heads and stuff, and they're
it's
like
all hollow,
and they just push him away. Brains. And this is where we get Bart saying he thought that dabbling the black arts would be good for a chuckle, and how he'll never read a book again.
That's a good way to handle it.
And this is when Lisa's like, basically like, "Hey, he got the book from the library. Maybe there's another book there." And Marge is kind of like, they're kind of like, "Yeah, it's our only hope." And Homer gets his gun out to the book depository. I love that part too. And the Simpsons rush off to the book depository. And
notice I no longer say library.
And this is, as they're about to get into the car, Mr. Ned Flanders shows up and says, "Hey, Homer, mind if I lick your..." Did he say lick your ear for a
Simpson,
moment?
I'm feeling a mite peckish. Mind if I chew your ear?
Dad, you killed the zombie Flanders.
You was a zombie?
That was so great. That was so great.
There was a Mike Reiss says that in his opinion, this is one of the all-time classic lines for The Simpsons.
It's very, very good. And then in the car, KBBL is now
KZMB.
Yeah, all zombie radio.
Really quick, I want to throw back.
Yeah.
When Bart's doing all of his spell casting, he's wearing the album Thriller on his head.
Yes.
Oh, you said that. You did say
I said that.
Yes.
We're good.
And I sang Thriller.
No.
Yeah, sorry. I just went back and saw a photo of it. Yep.
No, you're good. You're good. We did.
Now
we did
I
get
remember.
there.
It's been a long day. Sorry, everybody.
So then the songs on the radio are now zombie moans, right? Suddenly we cut to space where we get King and Kodos. Right?
You gotta get them. They're in all of them.
Yeah. And they're like, the zombies have the Earthlings on the run, and they're
King and Kodos. I have one from everything.
And they're like, Oh, you do.
Yeah.
And then they're like, soon the human race will fall. Blah blah blah. Evil alien laughter. Plotting Earth's doom. Right. That's like they do. And then we go back to Springfield, where the zombie bullies are using Skinner's head as like a kickball and passing it around. Teachers are all there being zombies. Homer's just blasting everybody, and he almost shoots Barney, who is gnawing on an arm, and he's like, "Barney, not you too," but really, no, Barney's not a zombie. He's just doing what everybody else was, and then he's really quickly, wow, look, like, he doesn't say look, but he's like, wow, George Washington, and points towards George Washington.
I like that George Washington is in Springfield.
It's not just George Washington, because like obviously Homer shoots George Washington, and then he says, Einstein. And shows over Shakespeare.
Oh yeah.
And then you get, is this the end of zombie Shakespeare? And they make it to the occult section, and Bart grabs a book. It's volume 2 that he grabs, by the way. It's still same series, just volume 2 instead of volume 1. And he says, Kolchak, Mannix, Banachek, Dano. And he turns Lisa into a snail.
TV detectives.
And I like how he stares at her, and she's like, oh my God, is there something wrong? And he's like, I just never realized what a beautiful woman you've become. Like,
she's a snail.
Yeah. Trojan, Ramses, Magnum Chic.
Yeah.
They're all condoms. But with that one, a like beaming light pulse type thing comes out of the book and out of the school and out onto all of Springfield, and all the zombies start to return back to their graves, including John Smith. Where there's confusion.
I'm John Smith, 1882. My mistake.
And then we get Mayor Quimby announcing that the zombies that were, all over the streets are now rotting corpses on the streets. So it's all good. And I think is it Marge who says it? I'm glad we didn't turn into a bunch of mindless zombies, because they're all watching.
I'm sure glad we didn't turn into mindless zombies.
Shh. TV.
Man, fall down. Funny.
So they are. I love that, because they are all mindless zombies. And then we get the James Hell Brooks, mummified Matt, all that stuff. So yeah, and that's our episode. Because this is like 3 episodes, I know we're gonna rate it as 1, but like which of the 3 ones, like how do you rank them in this little series is my question.
I think I underestimate the zombie one. I think it might actually be my favorite of the 3.
The zombie one's really good.
Yeah, they're all really good. The weakest one is the King Kong one.
Yes.
Due to the references it's taking. The other ones are references much closer to my heart.
Yes.
So it's like, this is good to me. But King Kong's not like, that's so much so in the pop culture lexicon that everybody knows who King Kong is.
Yeah.
So it's like, whether you've seen it or not, you know the basic story. Stolen from an island, brought here to be a spectacle, breaks out.
Yeah. For the record, the Dad You Killed Zombie Flanders is, I think you mentioned this, maybe I can't remember because we were going, but is like considered one of the like classic Simpson lines, the Ned Flanders line.
To the writers, right? Like the writers say so.
And then this episode of The Simpsons is also referred to in the film 28 Days Later, where one of the sergeants tells his favorite joke from The Simpsons, which is the line, women and semen don't mix. So it's, this particular Treehouse of Horror actually spans out from it's mentioned in other places, which is kind of neat. Just as for a breakdown for everyone, just because maybe you didn't notice, of course, the opening to the show was Alfred Hitchcock. Hitchcock presents presents thing. Then we get the Twilight Zone with Living Doll in A Clown Without Pity, which is there's and stuff like that. We also get in there. We also hear the music from Psycho, and we get the Oscar Mayer song. And we get
wasted moments.
Yeah, we get the Gremlins thing. We get the Cape Fear thing. Okay. Then in the second one, we get King Kong, obviously, and we get Young Frankenstein, and we get Shirley Temple, and we get mentions of Al Jolson, Winter Garden, and the Chrysler Building. And then in Dial Z for Zombies, we get Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder, Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, and Pet Sematary. And then Fish Police, Capital Critters, and Family Dog are each a short-lived animated series intended to capitalize on the Simpsons' success. So there you go. I knew that was something too there, and then like we said, there's the Michael Jackson thing. There's the William Shakespeare quote is a play on the "Is this the end of whatever" from a Shakespeare play. Right. So the
Kang and Kodos clip is the exact same clip lifted from the season before, only they took the human chain of peace sign out.
Oh, okay.
And they put new voices on top.
Yeah. Oh, and the lever action shotgun is that Homer wields in the episode is a reference to Terminator 2: Judgment Day. And when he's running down, when they're running to the library, some of those shots are meant to be like with the first battle with the T-1000. So like there's tons going on. I just wanted to kind of quickly blow through, like there's more little ones, right? But I wanted to quickly blow through some of the big ones just to kind of re-show that like there was so much going on in these 3 segments of this one episode that when you look at it all together as a whole thing, it's just stuff after stuff. It's very packed. It's very packed each episode.
Like you just ran down. It references this, and this. When it says this, it references this. It's this.
Everything's something in this episode in these 3 things. So you think you underestimated the Dial Z for Zombies?
Yeah. What Zed? What's that? Yes. Yeah. Maybe not underestimated. I think it was like I did the thing, we were talking about, and it was like, yeah man, I think I like this one the best, actually. Zombies was there, and then it was like, well, maybe I like Krusty the best, but then we got back to Zombies. Like, no, I do like this one the best. Right, and the King Kong one, again, despite not knowing a lot about it, it's just like every joke is fucking hilarious. Even the King Kong is broke out and he's destroying things. Well, I'm not looking forward to the reviews, I can tell you that.
Right.
So funny.
Right. I mean, and we do get Young Frankenstein and Shirley Temple and stuff. So there are some like recognizable
things. We're not going up there without the bait. Bathing beauty.
There's great lines in it. Yeah. There's great lines in it. So what do you rate this one?
It's 5.
Yeah.
It does. I have a hard time believing a lot of the and I hate to go into it biased, but it's my show, and that's how the Treehouse of Horrors are going to be. Every episode has to earn the 5. I think the Treehouses will have to lose them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Basically, Treehouses are going in with like such a high level for me that it's like, yeah. So this one doesn't, like I said, even the middle section, which I find to be the weakest, there's nothing weak about it. It's just compared to the other 2. It's 3 of
still
3.
very strong.
Yeah. It's a 5. It's not. I mean, like, look, I've only done like, I think this is my 5th 5 ever. So it does not. No, this is my 4th 5 ever.
There you go.
So yeah, it doesn't happen that often. I think one of the other times is a Treehouse. I think, in fact, I did not give the first Treehouse a 5.
The first Treehouse is very good, but not as strong as later ones come, for sure. For sure. But it has one of my favorite bits in it at all time, because I love the Raven. I love the Raven thing in it. I love it. It's one of my favorite Simpsons bit of all time. There aren't that many jokes in that part. It's literally just the poem, pretty much. So, but I still love it. It's one of my favoriteest things. When I think of Halloween, I think of Bart Simpson looking like a raven saying nevermore. So
I might have given it a 5 too. I only have the numbers. I don't have the names. So
yeah. But in all honesty, even when I stopped watching Simpsons every single week, I would still every year make sure to watch the Halloween episode. Like even if I wasn't watching every episode every week, I was still watching the Halloween episodes for sure. Like 100%. Like I would waiting for it all year, because I always loved the Halloween episodes. So not that I don't watch The Simpsons ever. It's just we all know that Simpsons have been on TV for a long time, and sometimes some of the seasons don't resonate with you as much as some of the older seasons.
In fact, I didn't give the Treehouse last season. I'm looking at it right now, and it's the only 5 I gave last season was Homer at the Bat. So it was the last.
What was the Treehouse last season?
As Simpsons podcasters, we should. I'll pull it up right now. We should probably just know. And as soon as I do, I'm going to be like, God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be like, yeah, exactly that's what that one was.
Yes.
I'm sure that we're both scrolling through it right now too, trying to find it. Right. Lisa's Nightmare. The Monkey Paw.
Oh,
Monkey
yeah,
Paw.
Yeah.
Monkey Paw. Bart, you being able to use his mind to do everything. And Mr. Burns transplants his Homer's brain into a robot.
I don't know why I wouldn't have given it. You know what I mean? It's like I'd have to go back and listen to my own reasons, but I do remember it not being the
It's
best.
not the of a lot of the Treehouse seasons episodes. It is probably the only thing I ever remember from this one. Really, is I remember a little bit about the Bart using his brain to do stuff, and the monkey paw. Like I remember the monkey paw thing because the stick thing, right? They have no weapons on Earth or whatever, and then
yeah.
It's like, fine, here's a stick. Oh, look, he's got a stick with a nail. I remember that part. But anyways, no, this is a very good one. I give this one a 5. There's definitely this is definitely when I sat down to watch it. I'm like, I still remembered every single, like as I was watching, I'm like, oh, I remember every single moment pretty much of this episode. Like I don't have to reach to remember it. So to me, that tells me it's something that stuck with me for forever. So, and I've probably watched it like a bazillion times.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still pissed off that like Disney Plus doesn't allow you to make playlists of episodes, or doesn't just have a hey, here's all the tree houses. And sometimes in October, I don't remember if it was them or if before it was Disney, FXX would have just a playlist of them.
Yeah. But I mean, I think this is a very good one. I think Clown Without Pity. There's a lot more. There's a lot in there to love because Krusty the Clown's hilarious in it, like the little Krusty doll, and like the doll's trying to kill me. The doll's just been laughing at me. It's one of the best things that's ever happened on Earth. I'm sorry. The fact that like I have said that literally like my entire life, like just randomly, because why wouldn't you? Like a toaster comes up, I'm gonna repeat that line. But anyway, and the dial Z for zombies is good. It's solid. It's fun to watch. You get the shooting things, and then it's a 5 for me as well.
Your second 5 since arriving at the show.
Thank you.
You also Homer at the Bat, and Treehouse.
Yeah, Homer at the Bat.
Your 5s.
Yeah. I do think that this one
we've 5'd the exact same episodes since you've arrived. I haven't 5'd anything else since before you got here.
This is a very popular episode though as well, just so we all know. Some of the parts in it are considered some of the best, like some of the segments are considered some of the best segments that the Simpsons have ever done. And it beat out several shows on Fox that week, I think, including like In Living Color and stuff like that. Like it was people wanted to watch it, so it did good. It was the highest rated show on the Fox network that week, beating In Living Color. And it's a good one. It's a good one.
I think Treehouse has remained strong for quite a while.
Yeah. Yep. I think so. I remember when it used to be like there was a year or two here or there where it was like there wasn't a treehouse or it was very late or whatever, and it was like people were visibly upset by that.
Yeah.
They
started
"Where's my treehouse?"
because the season was starting later than October, so it would like be the first episode, but it would be in early November when it would come out.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I want that shit before Halloween,
right?
Before or on Halloween.
I needed the Thursday night before. Now we're on Sunday nights right now, huh?
Are we on Sunday nights again now?
I think it's on Sundays.
For this one.
I don't remember.
Oh my goodness! Now I'm gonna actually have to look it up.
What was the date? October 29th, 1992.
Yeah, because I actually need to know now.
What day of the week was October 29th, 1992? Thursday. It was a Thursday.
But it was a Thursday. Yeah. We're still Thursday in it. I remember Simpsons being on Thursdays for quite a while. I do, because I remember it was for a while. It was like Simpsons on Thursdays and X-Files on Fridays and other I want to say other show. I think Married with Children on Sundays or something. It was something like that. I can't really remember.
I was just sticking around for Simpsons if that was the case. Saturday was Mad TV. I knew that.
Yes.
Like as a younger.
Yeah. No, I remember.
I didn't have a lot of shows. Yep. It was almost every night. But do you remember Trigger Happy TV? It was on Comedy Central. I don't know. You guys get that in Canada? I know it's a dumb question, but I know there's just a lot of networks that don't cross over.
No, and some of the networks don't truly cross over. We'll have a sister station where they played we didn't have Nickelodeon. We had YTV, which played a lot of Nickelodeon shows, but then also some shows that were just
Trigger
Canadian.
Happy TV was I'm pretty sure was a British television show.
Okay.
At least it was a British guy who did it.
Right,
which was on we're getting way off topic here, but basically one of the funniest bits was he would have this giant cell phone and he would it would ring and he would answer it in a museum. Hello!
Oh
no, I'm at the museum. No, it's rubbish. And it was just so I remember that was the Simpsons, Trigger Happy TV, and Mad TV in that preteen. Those were the three shows that I was I need.
You were here, this is where I live.
I'm locked in on these. Yep.
And then you walked around screaming things hello like you were screaming into a cell phone.
Yeah,
and your parents were
or doing very,
that.
very distasteful Mrs. Swan impersonations. But he did look like a man.
All right. Do you have our character bio for us?
Yeah.
He totally has the book ready, guys. You don't know it. He did not take off his headphones and roll away from the screen and go and grab the book. He totally had it ready.
It's nearby. It's always nearby. What's funny is I'll always set it right here on the floor next to me because I got a pretty good amount of room around me. And it'll sit here for 4 or 5 days and I'll be I need to put that shit away. And I'll always put it away the day before we record. And then I'm I should have just left it on the floor right there. It's not bugging anything. I just get to be, I get neat freaky, There is no character bio for the Treehouse of Horror 3. Sorry.
You got an interesting fact for us then?
It's mostly stuff we knew. The internet knows a lot more than this book, but let's see if I can find something here. I'm pulling out a trivia question as we do this. No, I mean we basically
we covered it all, didn't we?
Oh, you know what? The stuff we may have missed. The monkey's paw from Treehouse 2 appears on the counter in House of Evil.
Oh, okay.
Or at the House of Evil. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
The shop.
Yeah, at the shop.
The shop that Homer goes to.
Yep. And that's it.
That's fine. We got something from the book. That's all that matters.
Yep. Nope, that's literally it. I thought there might be a bio, but there is
Zombie Flanders. He's kind enough to open the door and let zombies in.
Yes.
He seems to have a liking of ears.
Gladys, I thought you were dead.
There's your bio. We made it up on the spot. There you go.
Okay, the first question, super easy. I'm not going to even offer you the multiple choice of it.
Okay.
I feel like it's that easy. If you want it, you can have it. But it's just I feel like this is a very easy one. What kind of footwear does Grandpa usually sport?
Oh, slippers.
Yeah. slippers.
Slide on type, like not even like the kind with the back. They're the slide on type.
No heels. Okay.
Yeah.
This one does have multiple choice, but as usual, I will leave it off at first and let me know if you want it. Principal Skinner has a picture of what hanging opposite his desk in his office. What is in the picture?
Is it his mom?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with mom. I don't think it's his mom, but I'm going to say mom.
Here are the multiple choice options. Springfield Elementary, the Lincoln Memorial, or his mother.
Oh, God, your multiple choice did not help me. Opposite him?
Yeah, like it's the pic, it sits across his desk. He looks at it.
His mom. I'm going to go with his mom. I'm going to stick with his mom.
It is Springfield Elementary.
Damn it. I knew it wasn't the Lincoln Memorial, okay? I knew it wasn't that one.
He loves the school, damn it. He would do anything for it. Part
of my gut was like, it's the school. And I was trying to see it in my head, but then in my head I just kept seeing a picture of his mom. So I couldn't pull it out. Mom. I know, right?
We all just forget about Armin Tamzarian,
As directed to, right? Like we're just supposed to pretend he doesn't. That is what we're supposed to do. As directed to.
This is the perfect time for us to go this long. Treehouses should be this long, damn it.
We had a lot of things to say, and that was with us trying to move quickly through some of those episodes.
Yeah, I also did. You're going to edit out 8 minutes of me trying to put a sound clip into this, too.
That is true.
I was trying. I've been awake since 4 a.m.
But it was fun, and that's all that really matters, is that we had fun sitting down and talking about The Simpsons, and we hope that you guys had fun sitting down and listening about The Simpsons, and hopefully have opinions about The Simpsons that maybe one day you'll share with us and email us or comment somewhere. Which one was your favorite of the three?
Did you say what your favorite of the three was?
I was going to say the Krusty doll, but then as we were watching it, I was kind of like, or going through it and stuff like that, and I was thinking about it, I was kind of like, maybe I like the zombie one more than I thought. I kind of feel like it is a Krusty doll one, but like, when I think about it too, yeah, it's super close because I like all the references that happen in the zombie one, including the references to the failed cartoon series that tried to ride on the coattails of The Simpsons but did not succeed. I like it when The Simpsons does stuff like that, and they do it kind of often, especially in the earlier seasons, where they're literally like, you guys tried and died.
Yeah, Family Guy has that joke later too when they got brought back from cancellation.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen, Peter? And he's like, well, I suppose if. And he just lists off like 30 shows on Fox. And he's like, well, if all those get canceled, maybe we can come back.
Yeah. So I do like things like that. It's really close for me. I think I have to stick with the Krusty doll, but really just because there's some lines in that I've never forgotten my entire life, and I have a soft spot for it. It's my soft spot for that one,
It's a fair soft spot.
But interesting enough, when I was younger, I would have totally said the King Homer one because I loved that it was merely because it was in black and white. I loved the fact that it was black and white.
Marge, look! The doll's trying to kill me and the toaster's been laughing at me.
That was like when you asked me if there's any sound clips I wanted. The first thing I said to you, and the only thing I said to you, was, Marge, the doll's been trying to kill me and the toaster's been laughing at me.
I took it upon myself to grab like 14 others.
Yeah, but that was the only, like, I know that quote, so it's ingrained in my brain. So
perfecto.
Yeah. That, I mean, everyone has Simpsons quotes like that, right? That just live rent free in their head. Like, there's there's a lot of them, but there's always at least one that's like, you might not say it for a while, but you can quote it.
I don't think Danny even realizes it's from The Simpsons, but I've said to her probably 400 times, you'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing. Anyway. Jesse, it's been a pleasure going through this episode with you today, and
the same
I hope
to you.
As I say, I hope you had fun. I had a word and it disappeared. This was a great episode to go through and talk about. I think season 4 is full of so many strong. Like we got really good. Like, I know we do this a lot, but we're like, we got so many good episodes coming, but we really do.
You've got Mr. Plow on a couple episodes. A few down the line, I think Monorail falls on mine.
Monorail's coming up.
Yeah, Monorail.
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 We're all just waiting for those ones, right? Like,
yep.
Mr. Plow, that's my name. That name again is
Scotty's
Mr.
mad
Plow.
she's not on the Mr. Plow episode.
We got the Marge gets a job. Bart's gonna fall in love again with New Kid on the Block. Then we get some we do get some touching ones like Lisa's first word and stuff, but we get a lot of really good brother from the same planet's a fun one. I love Lisa and Ralph's little romantic thing.
Choose you.
I mean, you can still find like references to that in places. I
even have that card.
right. Like there's a lot of goodness, and also so it comes at the clip show. Sorry for the clip show happens in this season.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how we're gonna pull that one off, but we'll talk about that off air.
Yeah. And Whacking Day. Honestly, this season is just this season really has a lot of things in it that are great. So I'm looking forward to doing more of the episodes.
Sorry for the clip show. Have no fears, we've got stories for you.
And I'm pretty sure when that came out, people were like, "Oh yeah, they got stories for years. They'll be canceled in a couple years for sure."
Now it's just been renewed through season 40.
It's like the show is never ending.
Crazy.
Anyways, thank you, Jesse. As usual, you guys can follow us on socials and stuff like that. I will bug Jesse, and we will try to get some of his collection on for this one in particular, because he has figures for all of the episode, all of the
that's true. Taking a picture and posting it is way less work than like pulling a video, editing it. So I'm with it. I'll post my toys.
Yeah,
I'm there.
Yeah, let's post some toys, and make sure you guys go check that out on like Instagram and TikTok and wherever else we post things. And
I think that's it.
I think that's it. You can find us at Cromlin Show at all those places. You can also email us at Cromlin Show Gmail. And thank you, Jesse. Do you have any last words for our listeners today?
I do not. Do you?
You guys are great, and thank you for putting up with us, and especially me, on this journey.
But just know that we're putting up with you too out there. All right, we're all in this together.
We're all in this together. Thank you, Jesse. Good night, everybody.
Good night.